Hello everyone, it is Desiree and I am here with yet another installment for our junk journal series. And what we're going to work on today is a flip out that you can attach anywhere within your junk journal. I do like to either put it on the front cover or the back cover if there is one signature that is created in your junk journal. Now, if there's two signatures, then I would also look at putting it in the space that's in between the two junk journals as well, because I usually leave about a 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch between each one when it comes to the center. So that's where I like to put these flip outs. That's what I call. I was inspired by Wendy's journal adventure. I think it's Wendy's Journal Adventures or Wendy's Junk Journal Adventures. Again, it's linked down below. What she does is she does these flips, but she creates a hinge with fabric, which is really cool. So, you know, you could actually, where I create hinges using paper bags for my papers, I mean, that would be really cool too. And then you could have that stitching, or you can glue it. You don't have to stitch if you don't have a sewing machine. You know, you would have that stitching on each side when it comes to that. I do understand why she puts fabric, you know, again, it's constantly flipping. So you want to make sure that you have something, you know, probably in between here that's a little stronger, more sturdier, because again, you're constantly moving this. So this is what we're going to learn today. You will need one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, any cardstock that you want to use. I do like to have my bases when I'm doing something like this in a craft. The craft paper that I like to use is by Recollections. I get it through Michael's. It says it's 65 pound. I think it's thicker. I think they lie. I just think it's just thicker. I just like the way that it feels. To me, this craft does look like, you know, a paper bag, so to speak. So it's similar in the texture and the way that it looks. So what you're actually creating is you have a pocket here. You actually have a pocket here. And this piece is actually coming from this piece if you choose to cut it off. You are going to have a pocket here. This is one of those tea bags. All right, no pocket there, no pocket there. Everything's closed up here, okay? But you will have that pocket there. You have a side pocket here where you can put something skinny to sit in there, and then we did a notch. You also have a pocket here so that you can put your smaller ephemera, and again, they can journal on the back of that. So that's a pocket. This is not, and then this is not as well. Now you could put a pocket on the outside of this as well, as I'm shaking my camera, so I apologize for that. So that would be your choice. So it just keeps flipping out. And again, as you put stuff in here, you can't put too much. You are going to have a double score here, but maybe you have a lot of things that are coming in here. So you will have the ability. Let's see if I can lift this. You can see, I don't know if you'll see. Okay, I'm just going to get a shadow on that. Wait a minute, let's do this. There you go. So you can see that there's like an 1/8 of an inch gap when it comes to the folds. And I do that with the scoring that I'm doing, because then this way this is able to expand just a little bit. All right, so lots of stamping, even pulled in some of my black, which I like to do. You don't have to, but I thought it just went well with what the background that it was sitting on did. And we are just going to create. Now remember, this is a tea bag, and we will actually get into that as well. So pull out your cardstock. I will give you the measurements as I go. But again, this is whatever you want to do. You don't have to do that cutout or anything like that. All right, but let's get started and let's create our pocket. So I'm going to keep this off to the side of me so that I can look at it. Here is the obnoxiously bright green cardstock that I used for this, and with all of my notes. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take a piece of cardstock, 8.5 by 11, and you want to cut it to be 6 inches by 11 inches. So you want to take off 2.5 inches from this side. Okay, so 6 inches by 11 inches. All right, so I have my piece of cardstock here, and of course I am not ready to do that. So what I'm going to do, because I only have room for my one cutter, oh my, I'm going to grab my scoreboard. I'm going to make my one score here. So just get yours ready to 6 by 11. Okay, so I'm going to do my first score. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So just don't look at this. So how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's okay. So I'm just going to fold that in half. Because now what I can do is I can bring in my little my cutter that I love, and I can now cut this to be 6.5. Or 6. Okay. I save that. All right. So now that you have, forget I have a score line there. So now that you have this 6 by 11 inches, what you want to do, oh, my fingers are horrible. I'm so sorry. I've been working on this stuff all day today, which has been fun. So what you want to do along the long edge, if you have a scoreboard, if not, just mark it and then use the back of a butter knife. I'm going to score, my first score is going to be 1 7/8. Okay. And then I'm going to come over and I'm going to score it at 4 3/4. And then I'm going to score again at 4 7/8. All right, so I have one score here of 1 7/8. And then my first one's at 4 3/4. And then again at 4 7/8. So I have this 1/8 of an inch gap in between. I'm going to flip my piece over, and you can see here's my score at 1 7/8. Here's my score at 4 3/4 and 4 7/8. You can see I have flip. So now I'm going to flip this. And now I'm going to score at 2 3/4 and 2 7/8. So now that I flipped it, 2 3/4 and 2 7/8. That's all the scoring that you're going to do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to put it in the camera and I'm going to hold it there. So if you guys want to freeze frame on this and take the notes, you can. Because then eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to point where this says top and this says bottom. And now I'm going to flip. And the reason why I have that flip is for these score lines alone. All right, and I'm going to keep that there as well. This is probably doing awesome things to the camera, but that's okay. All right, so at least you can freeze frame on that, shut me up, and then we continue through. I will try to scan this as well in the system and have that on my blog. Well, no, I don't put this on my blog. I'll have it go to my blog. I'll have it in my downloads. So I'll do that. Okay. So we don't need that anymore. And I'm trying to find a spot where I can put it. Okay. Hang on here. Thirsty. And sorry if you just heard me gulp. Okay. So now I'm going to make sure that your single score line should be on your left-hand side when you're ready to go. Okay? Because what that is, that's your main pocket. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that all of these folds and creases are hidden. Meaning, use your bone folder, use the back of a kitchen knife. When you do the 1/8 of a score line, it is really tough to get that in because it's so close to the other one. You actually have to flip it around. So now you can see I've got those two. It's like a step. But once I have it, can you see that? See how it creates this small gap, right? And that's what we're looking for. So again, we're going to find out where this falls. We're going to crease it. And now we are going to crease the other one. Let's see if I can get that in there. Okay. I'm going to pull forward. So, work the paper. That's what I do. Okay. So I've got my double, double, single. So now what we want to do is anything that you want to do. I do like to put the stamping throughout the piece just to give it some background to it. I like to ink the edges with my Distress ink. So that's what I'm going to do here. Before I start all of my inking, as I graciously pull that out, the one thing that I'm going to do here, this is the piece that gets adhered into your book, or your journal on the cover. And you can see, when we see the template, you can see I have these dashes. That's the glue line. So you would put a glue line along here and a glue line along here on the other side. So here and here, so that you're creating your pocket. But I want to slice part of this out. So I'm going to grab my scissors, and this can be whatever you want. You also don't have to do this. I've seen some people, there was someone who, again, she created this whole thing where it's just flips and folds and everything else. It was just phenomenal. I'm just like, okay, let's just have a flip. Don't need all these pockets. I'll just create the one pocket and put the little one here. You know, that was fun. It was absolutely beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to slice across. But I want to save this, because what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to put it in down here, and I've created another pocket. So again, you're taking this piece that you've just cut off, and you're just going to flip it down and put it in down here. Now we can embellish that and everything else, and that's of course what I'll do. But I'll also ink this. So what I want to do now is, where I know there's a notch or a pocket, I'm going to come in with my circle punch, one of them, and I'm just going to create the notch. And I'm going to do this to the smaller piece too. Create the notch. We'll be able to do that again. These things just go flying. I'm also going to take off this point. I don't like points. So now that will sit there just like that. And then I want to put a notch here. Now what you could also do is make a double pocket you know, if you put a glue line in let's do that. So I'm going to put one here. Woohoo! And then I'm going to put one here. So see, just like that, you can change what you're looking to do. So now we just want to stamp. So I'm going to grab this. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to use a different one. I want to use this one. So you can either use your distress inks, you can use your archival inks, whatever inks you want to use, feel free. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and again, it's just like a light tap. So, you know, tap, tap. See, you just get the faintness of the image. Now, if I really push down, now you get it more heavily. So we did that. You just always want to make sure that you're going in the same direction. So see, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't look that great, but you've got this difference, you know, going on. And that's what I go for. So I'm going to ink it up again. Now, if you want it more bold, more prominent, then you would just keep re-inking. Now, I don't know what's what, so I just do the whole thing. But I do know that this is seen. So I want that there, and I want it prominent. So you can see how I just got that to work. Gonna do that. Gonna do that. Just do a little bit there. That. And I kind of like that. Okay. And you wonder why my hand is all inky. Yes, that's because I just put my hand on the stamps. Okay, a little bit of cleanup. It's the beauty when you use distress inks. It reactivates. Right? Right. Okay. So, now, I just want to look at my backgrounds. And what I mean by my backgrounds is what is where. Now, I know when it comes to this, I can just immediately glue this down. So I'm going to put a bead of glue here. And I'm going to put a bead of glue here. And since this is 6, I'm going to put a bead of glue. Am I on camera? Yes. So this is about the 3-inch mark. Again, not perfect, but it's close enough, right? Right. I'm going to take that. And then we're going to do that. Now, to get this to hold, I'm going to use a clip. So I'm going to pull my clips down here. I'm going to put a clip there. Okay. It's not a good clip. I'm going to put a clip there. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put a clip here. And then we're going to put a big clip there. And pray that it all holds. And you know what I forgot? So one of the other things, and I always forget this, is you want to make sure that you ink around the edges. So, which is fine. We can still do that because, again, we keep all of our scraps and we can use them. Okay, so let's do that now. So I'm just going to go around the edge. And you know what? I am just going to not speak. You do not need to watch me ink the edges. So I will be right back. Okay, so I am back. But I wanted to show you how I handle this. So what I do is I take something that fits in there. And then I just ink. So I just try to keep something butt up against it, and then I just go back and forth to make sure I can get that ink in there, and voila, it's done. All right, so now we have our piece inked up. We've got now 2 pockets going on in here, which is cool. We have our big pocket, and then this will finally close up. And again, we would put a bead of glue here and here, so that when we put it in our book, it will do that. Now, you got to remember, this is set this way if you're putting it on your cover. If you're putting this on the back cover, you want to make sure that you have flipped this. Okay? And make sure your stamping would be straight then. All right? So you just need to make sure of that. Now, here's the fun part. We just get to grab items that we have when it comes to our ephemera, our digital prints that we have, images that we have stamped, because I do love adding those. One of the things that I'm going to work with are, these are the tea bags that I had mentioned in another video, and you know, they're great. Now you can remove the string. I tend to like to keep the string in there. I just try to do all kinds of different things. So you can ink these. Now what you have to remember is this is a very, it's a lightweight paper. It's very easily torn, but you can ink it. You can do all of those things. I like to have a template because since it is such a fine piece of paper, if you do put any glue on it, it will go through. So it will close it up. So by putting this piece in here, I'm able to, you know, keep moving it so that the glue just dries on its own and does not get caught and close up my pouch. And I just got to trim this just a hair, so that it's easier to go back and forth. So that's what I do with these. So now when I put this, there you go. So now I can keep doing that after I glue. So one of the areas here that I'm going to do is I just like to fold it. I'm going to be folding this up just a little bit, and I'm going to put a crease there, and I'm going to glue that. And I'm going to glue it shut. So I want to make sure that my piece is down, because you have to put some pressure down. And now I'm going to make sure, and you can feel that the glue is going to go through that, but now I can push down because I know it should be okay now. I'm also going to flip this corner down, and I'm going to bend it. And I just want to put a bead of glue right about here, which will also hold the string basically. But since I have this board in there, it's not going through. So see, you got to get that moving once you put that glue on there and press down, because it will seep through. If I didn't move this cardstock would actually get stuck in there and be glued in there. So you can do that too. Totally up to you. But I like to keep that in there for a while. Then I just pull down the strings and I just put a knot at the bottom. You can put a charm if you want. You can put a tag to it if you want. Totally your choice. I just like the strings to dangle down. But whenever you have something that's dangling, there's always an opportunity to have something hanging from it. And then pounce the strings so that you can change that color of them. What I want to do is grab some of my book pages. I'm going to just tear them. I want to put that one there. And I'll put that one there. No, I think I'll put that one there. So this just gives a background for each of the pieces. I'm going to put that there. This is a different one. Can you tell I don't like straight lines? You know what? I think I'm actually going to put that. I think I'm going to put that right on my tea bag, actually. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we found that. Okay. Oh, we are funny. Funny. Oh my. Okay. Let's see. Well, you know what? I think I want to stick with the book page. So we're going to put that there. All right, so let's get these inked up and let's get these in place. It is amazing how much I find everything, unless I forget, everything that goes into my journals is inked. So for those of you that watch my card videos, you can kind of see now why, you know, this whole vintage photo thing is, you know, it's always on my mind. Although since the holidays are coming up, white pigment ink is now the inking of choice, but still not for my journals. Nope. I still only use my vintage photo and or potting soil archival for my inking. And that was probably too much glue, but that's okay. It'll work itself out. I'm going to put that down. So by putting these, I also want to make sure it's straight though. By putting these strips down, it just gives something within the background. It breaks up all of that craft. Now, you can use cardstock. You can use tissue paper. which is something that I'm about to bring in one moment. Again, it doesn't have to be book pages. Now, again, I'd love to be able to find books that are aged, but it's tough for me to find them on a continual basis. So I usually just use a very everyday book. I make sure it's a, it's a happy book, it's a clean book, not one of my Stephen King's. And then I can put, use those pages because I'll distress them, I'll ink them up. The few books that I do have for my pages, I do want them to have some age to them. So I do tend to hold them for that specific need, and for that specific task. So for those of you that say, well, wait a minute, I know you've got those pages. I do, but I do want to hold them because I just don't know when I will get another chance to get them again. Now, if I can see that I can build myself up in that area, then perfect. Then I will have no problems in having those items there. Okay, so now that I've put this down, see? There we go. She's loosened up. And again, just keep moving it back and forth. But you want to be careful. I should probably have... You want to round these corners. My corner rounder. Because those corners on the cardstock, they will cut right through the tea bag. Ask me how I know. Yes, it's fun. Okay. Okay. So, that's just going to sit right there. And you can see that little piece just hangs down just a little bit. Now, when you're adhering this, you want to make sure that you're on the right side or the left, depending upon where you're putting it, on your first score line. You want to make sure that you're not covering that. But I do want to put just some other pieces on here. I want to get some tissue paper, actually. This is actually like a deli paper, so a little different. And what I'm going to do, I really like to go over those edges, but it is such a fine paper. And I'll do that. So crumple it. I put that there. Yeah, gives it a little bit of a difference. Matter of fact, I think I'm just going to put that there. Right down the center. Yep. And I'm going to let that overhang. A lot of thought process here. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to put some glue here. I'm not going to worry about the neatness of it. So that's going to be held down there. And then this as I'm picking up another piece, is actually going to be held down here, so I can just put lots of glue right there. None to the wiser. And then we're going to glue this down. So your sides are okay when it comes to these, because that's where the closure is for the tea bag. But again, for this bottom here, you want to make sure that as soon as you put this down, that you have your barrier in so that it doesn't close up along the bottom. So, whoop, in it goes. And then just press that down. And then we have this, so we want to make sure that gets in there as well. I'm just going to add something to come out of that. And I think, no, too big. Too big. Now if I put that there, and if I put this here, kind of liking that. All right. So what I can do is, though, I can snip that and put that there so that it's not up too far, so that it just has and then what's funny is somebody will think, oh, well, that's a tag. No. Ink around these edges. And we'll add some glue. So I'm going to set this here just so I know where that's going to sit for when I place this down. And again, it's paper, so as I slide this in, you know, it's going to move. So now I know that's set. Here, I don't know what I want to put there. I like actually tags, tickets. You know how I love my tickets. So I'm going to pull out my pinking shears and just cut around them and ink. And have that there. Now, since this is a ticket, what I am going to do is just put the scalloped on each side, and then ink. Okay, so now we just add, and again, I like to embellish, but again, you don't have to embellish everything away. You just want to make sure that you're not crossing over your score lines. No, this should be good, but I am going to still keep that in there. If you want to put something else in here, you can. Now here's the beauty of it. You have something small. You've now created a belly band to go across your piece as well. So you can set, you know, something that's tiny and just have that sitting there as well. So you've created another pocket. That's why I did what I did there. So see, you can just keep building and building and building and building. It's awesome. What happened to my... Okay, guys, are you seeing it? I lost my pocket. Wow, I did. I lost... No, I didn't. I think I just want that a little bit darker. And let's put this in place. So I'm just going to put glue down this edge, and I'm going to put glue down on this edge. Oh, that's not good, but it's okay. Okay, just wipes away. That's what we do. Now I need a butterfly. Oh, too bright. Too yellow. Oh, no, there's a green one. No, I don't want green. Ooh, what's that? Ooh. Now that would make an absolutely beautiful pocket, but we're not going to because I have that flower there. But that would look really cool right there, actually. Because again, I'm not bending it this way. Okay, we need to hold that bad boy right there. Okay, let's see. Okay, obviously I am not going to find never fear. You know what? Going to go into my formula. Yes. And I'm going to find a piece from there. And that is not it. Oh my goodness. Seriously. All right, well, I definitely want to hold that out while I'm here. Oh, and that one too. Oh, here we go. Okay. It's too big, actually. So, let's put that one there. And I'm going to put that one there, and I'm going to put that one there. Now, you're probably saying, but Des, you put your pocket on there. I did. But that's okay. Because since it's going to go onto a cover, I can fold it over. And I like doing that. Oh, and here I thought this one wasn't going to be too long. Oh, sorry, guys. But I do like to do these so that you see everything that I'm doing. And when I change. Because we all know that happens often. Okay, I want to tilt that. And then I'm just going to... So now we've got something that goes off the bottom of our page, which is cool. Okay, so now for this one, I do like that, and I think that is perfect. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that down there. I just need something to come off of that, not that. So I have this huge pot filled with all kinds of ephemera pieces that I see how I did that? I do like it when they cross over like that. So I just need to make sure, I'm going to ink it first. And you're probably sitting there, how the heck are you going to get that back in there? Well, this is where it gets interesting. So I'm going to take that, put glue on it, pick this up, and since I already have the bend, now I know I just need to come over. Now the problem is, I don't want it to close my pocket up. So I'm just going to lift that up. I take this piece, and just like we have the barrier for the tea bag, just making sure that was feeling a little tight. So you can't put too much in these. You know, you can put like a tag or a card in there. But this, you just want to make sure that it's, and now it is. Okay, so now I can lift this back up and put glue on it and then set it down. There. And yeah, I'll be doing that for... Now this one I won't because it's glued right there. So I know I can actually have that coming off like that. Nobody says that when you glue something down that you have to stay in the lines and it has to be completely even. Just remember that. So now that I have those there, I do want this to come down, but I need to ink this like there's no tomorrow. Nice. Okay. Because I will be cutting that off, and I want to make sure these are going to stay down too. Okay, so pretty much now the inside of our piece is completed. Now I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to cut this edge off. Make sure when you do that that you don't open your pocket back up, and then I'm going to come in and hit that with my distress ink. So now we just need to focus on not this side, even though I put that there, we just want to focus in on this side and this side. Because again, when it goes into your journal, that's not going to be seen. So this is technically the cover of this, and then when you open it, you'll see this as well. Now again, I put like a little pocket here, and we'll do that again. So let's work on the cover though first, because what I want to do is I'm going to cover that there, and I know that's going to be this. So I know I'm going to have that. Maybe I won't, well, okay. So I think I'm just going to do that. And then I'll have that come off there like that. And I think that's all I'm going to put. Now, what I think I may add is a piece of material. because we can do that. So I am just going to grab a piece of my and yes, I tear that too. Absolutely. We must tear everything. Okay. And then one last one. Okay, now I have threads all over. There you go. You thought I lost my Fabri-Tac, didn't you? Okay, so sorry I wasn't talking there for a minute. So you can see by adding these different pieces, you get your different textures, you get your different looks. And again, it's just it's almost like a mini folder within your junk journal. And again, it's another way to use up those scraps because we do have many of them. Now, you don't have to make this as many flip outs as I did. I mean, again, you can change it to what you're looking for. So now that's pretty much the cover of this. And now we just need to put our last piece in here. And you know what? I don't think I'm going to put one on this one. I think what I'm going to do is stamp, and I'm going to use my brown archival. And it's amazing. For some reason, whenever I do my junk journals, I do not use a block. It is hysterical. All right, now what I am trying to do though is find a piece of cardstock that, wow, I'm about to lose this. Here we go. That I can put on the edge, because I don't want this to be fully there. Now hopefully this didn't dry. Yay. So see, we just keep putting things in place of it. And it works. Now that just needs to dry. So that'll dry clear. And now we have our folder. So even though I've put one in there already because I was playing with it, I actually do have a spare journal here started. It's another one. Now this does not have cardstock on the inside, and that's okay. This is a different type of journal that I'm putting in, but you can see that I would put glue down here and up here, and then it would just glue in right here. And then what happens is this turns into a pocket. I'm waiting because there's things that I'm going to do to that background. This is for someone. but then that just sits there. Okay, so that's how this process was. So again, to make a fold out flippy thing and to see how my desk goes into complete disarray, as it does. But I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gives you some ideas. Again, this one is one single pocket, where in this one we decided to make two separate pockets, which we certainly can. We also have the belly band here where we can set something in there, and then we also have this pocket here. All right, so that we can use that for a single piece of paper. If you want this looser, just pull your sides in a little bit more. We've got a pocket here so that we can put something as well. And again, you have your two. And then you just have decoration. And if you wanted to, you could add a pocket here, just like I did before. I mean, if you wanted to put a pocket or a tuck or a flip over, you can certainly do that as well. And then this is just decorated. If you wanted to make that one a pocket, you could have. So again, endless possibilities on this. So I do hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful. Love to see what you make. So when you do that, make sure you tag me. On Instagram or Facebook or wherever you decide to post and put your creations. I would love to see them. I want to thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time to watch this long video, as always, although I'm getting better. As I said, I do hope you enjoyed it. Again, all the products that I usually use are my go-tos when it comes to junk journals will be listed down below if you want to check them out. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those down below as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Again, sorry for kind of the dead spots, but sometimes when I'm looking for something and rummaging, yeah. So, it's all right. That just means I'm thinking, and it's the finger tapping. Yes. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe, be part of my group. We do everything that is paper crafting here and come up with new and unique ways to use paper. Make sure you ring the bell so that you know when the next video goes live. By all means, I hope you're having a great day. But remember what's always most important every day. Always be creative. Till next time.